Herbs are our medicine. The Bible references herbs multiple times to use them. For example, in 2 Kings chapter 20 verse 7, and Isaiah says, "Take a lump of figs and place it on this boil," and he recovered. Ezekiel 49:12, and by the river upon the bank thereof on this side and on that side shall grow all trees for meat, whose leaf shall not fade, neither shall the fruit thereof be consumed. It shall bring forth new fruit according to his months, because their waters they issued out of the sanctuary. And the fruit thereof shall be for meat, and the leaf thereof for medicine. Hippocrates once said, "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food." When we think of medicine today, we think of the medical community. We think when we go to the doctor's office and we see these pills, we see these capsules. And if we look closely enough and we forget what we've been taught and told about medicine, what we're looking at and what we're taking are drugs. Cocaine, tobacco, and all these other drugs that most of us deem as bad drugs. But there is no such thing as a good drug. All drugs are bad. God does not like that we take drugs. Medicine today is simply drugs. Drug means a medicine or other substance which has a physiological effect when ingested or otherwise introduced into the body. Now, if we go to Revelations 18:23, we go to that last sentence. "For by their sorceries were all nations deceived." Sorceries in Greek is the word pharmakia, which means medication or pharmacy. It is from the Greek word pharmakios, which means a drug. That is a spell-giving potion, a druggist, a pharmacist, or a poisoner. When you label these drug addicts or these people that take drugs as bad people, as lost people, but you are in the same boat as most people if you're taking aspirin, you're taking sleeping pills, nerve pills, etc. These are all just drugs. We don't want to poison ourselves. We don't take these drugs on purpose. We don't know, because this poison, this drug, is called medicine. And it's so commercialized, it's part of our society, we've grown up with it, so we think that it's okay. We all know the devil is a copycat. He just takes what God created and he takes it for himself, twists it, and makes it his thing. What is the purpose of herbs? Well, we know God created them. And God didn't create the herbs for diseases. Diseases, again, it's a name that we made up. A disease is simply a name to the respective symptom or collection of symptoms that occurs when acids damage the cells of the body or set in motion an inflammatory response, and a symptom is experienced. But it's simply just, where are these acids producing the most damage? Is it in our lungs? Is it in our skin? Is it in our heart, our kidneys? We've been naming these symptoms that we have with very complex names, and only the medical doctors know what's happening. And so the average person just gets scared, doesn't know what it is, what they're doing, and so they just trust this medical professional, which we've been raised to trust. So herbs are not for diseases, but they are for our cells, our blood, our fluids, our lymphatic system, our tissues. They're for our structure, function, which are our cells. There are specific herbs for specific organs in the body. Now, herbs have two main functions. They either cleanse our cells from acids, toxins, wastes, or they strengthen our cells from the damage the acids produce. These are called tonics. Herbs are very alkaline. They are filled with minerals, with vitamins, and herbs are excellent in combination with a detox. I personally use herbs in form of tea infusions, and I drink 2 or 3 a day. I also have tinctures, and I add those to my teas. One thing about teas is that they love to work together. One herb can only do so much. When you combine the herbs, they work together so well. The more herbs you combine in a tea, the better a job it's going to do, especially during the detox process. In one tea, I'm drinking 20 to 30 herbs, and I use my own formulas. These are just filled with alkalinity, and I've noticed when I do a detox and I don't use herbs versus when I do a detox with herbs, the power that the herbs have in combination with the raw foods during a detox. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about herbs, and specifically the herbs in this formula I have. So the first herb is called burdock root. So the leaves of burdock are considered the top burn healer. It heals first to fourth degree burns very well. Another very good burn healer, which is also in this formula, is aloe vera resin. There was these two kids in an Amish farm. One boy was raised Amish, the other was raised like the average person in the city, two very different lifestyles. So they get in this accident where a car engine exploded and they all got burned. So the Amish kid, his parents wrapped burdock leaves around his arm where the burn was. The other kid was taken to the hospital. And so the Amish kid, his arm, his skin that was burned just came right off. Like a brand new set of skin grew back. So it was just perfect. No scars, nothing. The other boy, skin all scarred up, looked very disturbing, disgusting. And so there you see the power of nature, of herbs, especially this burdock root when you're dealing with burns. But that's not its only function. That's what I like about herbs. Especially in this formula, all these herbs, they have so many properties tied to them. Burdock is a good cleanser and a tonic. So it has both functions of cleaning and strengthening the blood and the liver. It's a great aid in detoxification, and it rids the body of toxins and mucus. It reduces swelling in the body, especially around the joints. It promotes kidney function and helps in the removal of acid buildup in the body. It promotes urine flow and perspiration. It's #1 in skin conditions of all types. So it's a very good all-around herb. Another herb in the formula is plantain leaf. Now, what's good about this plantain leaf is that in the US, it's found everywhere. Like in my yard, there's a bunch growing freely. So this herb, you can just go right out, pick it, and eat it. Plantain leaf is a great herb for pus and septic issues in the blood and the body. Great for boils, abscesses, and tumors. It's known for its anti-venom properties in snake bites. Plantain leaf is a very great lymphatic herb. It's perfect for pulling and cleansing. It has very stringent action upon tissues, which is this pulling, cleansing effect. It's used for inflammation and for its healing abilities. Neutralizes stomach acids and helps restore proper gastric action. Has mild expectorant properties, aiding in bronchial and lung congestion. Used in venereal diseases, topically and internally for all skin conditions including eczema, dermatitis, and psoriasis. Great in an eye wash, especially for cataracts and glaucoma. This mongoose is fighting this cobra. The cobra bites this mongoose. It goes and searches out for plantain leaf, which you see has all these properties, anti-venom properties. The mongoose comes back and he kills the cobra. So plantain leaf is a very good herb. Another very good herb in this formula is black walnut hull. And this, in my area, there's trees that grow this black walnut. After the season passes, we collect it and we take this hull of the black walnut. It's nature's most powerful anti-parasitic. It will kill microorganisms like bacterium, fungi, yeast, to larger parasites including all worms and flukes. It is also a cellular proliferator, strengthens cells. It increases the oxygenation of blood cells. It is a detoxifier used to balance sugar levels and disperse fatty materials. It's excellent for any condition and weakness of the body, promotes healing of all tissues, and is said to help restore tooth enamel. It strengthens and stimulates the immune system, promotes lymph movement in bowel peristalsis, strengthens the bone as it is high in calcium. So it's a very great herb. Another herb that grows in many people's yards is the dandelion, and specifically the root of the dandelion. This herb is in here. It is one of nature's top herbs, a liver and gallbladder tonic, promotes the formation of bowel, aids in pancreatic function, and a kidney and bladder tonic and cleanser. Said to have the same diuretic strength as Lasix. It improves the enamel of the teeth. Very effective in liver conditions including hepatitis, jaundice, and cirrhosis. A great alkalizer, high in iron and other minerals, which increases the oxygen carrying capacity of the blood, and it's a natural source of protein. It aids in blood sugar issues including diabetes and hypoglycemia. But again, it's not that these herbs are curing that specific disease, it's curing the root cause of the disease. Another very great herb is slippery elm bark, one of nature's great healers of the body, pulls toxicity out of tissues, soothes irritated and inflamed mucous membranes, soothes the mucosa of the GI tract, specifically the stomach and intestines. Excellent for urinary tract, strengthens and cleanses that. Well known for its beneficial effect upon the respiratory system, soothes sore and inflamed throat tissues, helps pull mucus from the respiratory tract, so it's a very good expectorant. It is extremely high in nutrition, used in prostatitis, ulcerated conditions of the body, lesions of the GI tract, used in gastritis, enteritis, colitis, and diverticulitis. Great for abscesses and gangrene. It's also great to use in gout and arthritis. And so to sum it all up, it's a very great helper in removing acids from the body. Slippery elm is a very great anti-inflammatory herb. And golden seal might be one of my favorite herbs because this herb does basically everything. And therefore it gets its name as a great heal-all herb. It's a true tonic for the body and it strengthens the nervous system. But one disclaimer about some herbs, there's some herbs in particular that are very strong and bitter. These herbs more so are the roots, the tubers, the barks, the harder herbs. These are the more tonic herbs and also the more astringent, bitter, and powerful herbs. And for some of them, you have to be careful. But even like cayenne pepper, great herb, but you want to make sure that you don't take it for a long period of time. Like golden seal, it's very good for detox, but not for long term. Bloodroot, these herbs are very astringent, very powerful. So you want to be careful with some herbs. But the golden seal, it increases gastric juices and digestive enzymes. It also increases the production of secretion of bile. Used to strengthen and tone the pancreas, helps regulate blood sugars, considered a source of natural insulin, tones and cleanses the liver, used for jaundice, hepatitis, etc. It has homeostatic properties, especially for the uterus, excellent for hemorrhoids and hemorrhages, and it's a gentle laxative. It tones the vascular system and helps increase circulation. It's a great anti-inflammatory, especially for the glandular system. Helps eliminate mucus in the body, especially in the respiratory and GI tract tissues. It is a great anti-parasitic and it is a great antiseptic. And here are some other ways you can use this herb. Used for gastric and intestinal problems, used in cancerous conditions, used for drug and alcohol dependency, used in cystitis, prostatitis, and used for nephritis, used for HIV and venereal diseases, used for infections, wounds, sores, used in chronic skin conditions, eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, used in all types of prolapse conditions, uterus, intestinal, etc., used for ulcerated tissue, used for tonsillitis, malaria, used for boils, abscesses, and tumors, used as a mouthwash for gum conditions and canker sores, makes a great eye wash, and it's great for ringworm. And one more herb I want to talk about, but these aren't all the herbs in this formula, is white oak bark. It's another tremendous herb that God gave us. White oak bark is a great cleanser of the body and it has very astringent properties. It increases lymphatic flow and helps reduce swollen lymph nodes. It is a powerful cleanser of tissue, used for mouthwashes, poultices, douches, enemas, and abscesses. Used as a douche for infections and atypical cell formation. Strengthens cells. It is a cellular proliferator. Used to strengthen the arteries, veins, and capillaries, especially great for varicose veins and spider veins. It is superb for internal and external hemorrhages, excellent for prolapse conditions, including intestinal, uterus, bladder, vascular system, etc. Has diuretic properties, thus increases urine flow, used to eliminate gallstones and especially kidney stones, helps clean and strengthen the GI tract, used in all mouth and gum conditions, and has a powerful effect upon tooth enamel and bone growth. Kills and expels small worms like pinworms, used with plantain for snake bites, ulcers, boils, gangrene, tumors, and the like. Used in all skin conditions including eczema, dermatitis, and psoriasis, hemorrhoids, piles, and lesions. These herbs are specifically mixed together to create this heal-all formula. And this is just one of the formulas I have. I have 6 different formulas here, from the brain and nerve to the skin and liver to the kidneys to the endocrine glands to the lymphatic system. So if any of you are interested, I sell my herbs. If you would like to try them out and support me, just send me a message on Instagram. You can leave a comment to where you can message me an email. You don't have to buy my formulas. You can just go buy one of the herbs that I mentioned that you really found interest in and check it out and try it. But again, herbs work exponentially better if they come together. And these formulas have been studied and mixed and tossed around and added for more than 30 years. I encourage you to delve in more into herbs because God gave us this as our medicine. Let's look at these medications, drugs that we're taking. Let's just think for a second. What are we really taking? Let's look and say, is this natural? Next time you get prescribed a drug, when you see side effects, it's just another way of saying poisonous effects or reactions. And I wanted to end it off with this quote from a doctor, Dr. Lane. He's a world authority on medical matters and long regarded as England's foremost abdominal surgeon. So one day he was with the staff of Johns Hopkins Hospital and Medical College, and he said, "Gentlemen, I will never die of cancer. I am taking measures to prevent it. It is caused by poisons created in our bodies by the food we eat. What we should do then, if we would avoid cancer, is to eat raw foods and vegetables. First, that we may be better nourished. Secondly, that we may more easily eliminate waste products. We have been studying germs when we should have been studying diet and drainage. The world has been on the wrong track. The answer has been within ourselves all the time. Drain the body of its poisons, feed it properly, and the miracle is done. Nobody need have cancer who will take the trouble to avoid it." The reason we get sick is because we don't eat enough alkaline food, fruits and vegetables, and we're eating very acidic processed foods. So number one, it brings us very little nutrition, if none at all, and it stops the ability of our body to get rid of these acids and wastes that it needs to get rid of. Healing is very simple, but in the society that we're raised in, it is very hard to let go of certain foods. I was in this same position. I was going along with the world, eating like crazy, living these lies. And now that I'm on the other side, I see when people approached me and I saw these vegans and herbalists, I was like, okay, I mean, they're a little extreme. I'm gonna just stick with me. I'm gonna delve in a little bit, like, cool, I'm into nutrition and stuff, but I thought I was on a good path, you know? I was studying nutrition, I was teaching it to other people, you know, I was learning, thought I was on the good path, and I saw the other side. Kind of. I didn't really know too much about it. I just saw these vegans and I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick with this side. And then like that, God opened this door for me to see this way and delve into this other side. And now seeing both sides, I just see that this side of more raw alkaline foods is just the way I see that God intended for things to be. And I see this side aligning more with nature. And of course, studying it further in proves to me more how this is the way it should be. I just feel a closer connection with God as I'm more connected with the food, the herbs, and his creation. But of course, I could be wrong. Next time you go to take medications, look twice, think twice, and don't take my word, but I recommend you put them where they belong, right in the trash, and look for other ways to heal and get out of the condition that you put yourself in. My name is Joel Maluf, and I teach people that are either sick or have a disease or condition or have a disability how to reverse their state of being into a better self. And if that is you, welcome to this channel. I'll see you on another video.